Table of Content. Introduction. Chapter 1. Getting started with Google Ads. Chapter 2. Create your Google Ads step by step. Chapter 3. Ingredients to build a successful AdWords campaign. Chapter 4. Google AdWords mistakes to be avoided. Chapter 5. Google AdWords audit and optimization guide. Chapter 6. Improving quality score in Google AdWords. Chapter 7. AdWords display advertising. Chapter 8. Turbocharger AdWords for breakthrough performance. Chapter 9. Content remarketing strategies with Google Display Network. Chapter 10. AdWords bidding strategies your competitors don't know. Chapter 11. Using Google AdWords for small businesses. Chapter 12. How to reduce wasted AdWords spend in 2017. Chapter 13. Google AdWords features update for 2017. Chapter 14. Tracking Google Ads Analytics. Chapter 15. Case studies. Introduction. The marketing world has changed dramatically in recent years, and Google AdWords is one of the platforms creating this change. It number 1 EFS one of the most effective methods of paid online advertising available. This advertising system is used by thousands of small, medium and large organizations. All of these organizations have one thing in common. They want to tap into the huge numbers of people who search for information, products and services online. When used properly, Google AdWords has the potential to send large numbers of people to you who want exactly what you have to offer. Unlike other marketing strategies, you only pay for ads people click on. Once you optimize Google AdWords campaigns, you can get a high return on investment, which may not be possible to achieve with other marketing strategies. If you don't number 1 EFT currently use Google AdWords or don't number 1 EFT use it to its full potential, you should seriously reconsider this stance. Paying for online advertising like Google AdWords turns off a lot of people, especially if they are unfamiliar with how this platform works. However, if you do know how it operates or get help from Google AdWords experts, the rewards from Google AdWords can be huge. This guide will show you how to leverage PPC to maximize your inbound marketing efforts. Create highly relevant keywords, ads, and landing pages. Recognize keyword match types and when to use them. Structure your account and set budgets. Optimize ad copy to maximize clicks. Calculate essential metrics for measuring success. Go ahead and make the best use of it. Chapter 1. Getting started with Google Ads. Google pay-per-click PPC. Advertising using AdWords is perhaps the most popular form of advertising among small businesses. This is partly because of Google's reputation and partly because it allows the small business owner to control costs. There are various ways Google AdWords can help you as a small business owner, but it takes some basic instruction to get started and ultimately tap into its full potential as an advertising tool. What is Google AdWords? Google AdWords is an online advertising service that allows businesses to have their ads run on Google number 1 EFS search results page. The ads look almost identical to the normal search results, with the only difference being the small word number 1 F2 ad number 1 F3 in green. Google Ads will show at the top and bottom of a search results page. How advertising on Google works. When a consumer searches for a term or phrase, Google will show the consumer relevant ads based on the keywords used in the search. Websites that want their ads to show on the results page bid on keywords that they believe people will use when looking for their type of business. For example, a plumber located in Atlanta might bid on the keywords number 1 F2 plumbing, Atlanta, number 1 F3, number 1 F2 plumber, number 1 F3, or number 1 F2 broken toilet, number 1 F3. Depending on how much you bid compared to other plumbers in the area, your ad may show up on the results page when people search for the terms you bid on. In addition to how much you bid, Google also takes into account the relevance and quality of your ad and website. So even if you have the highest bid, the ad for your plumbing company will never show when someone searches number 1 F2 flower store. Number 1 F3 How PPC advertising works. How does Google determine if your ad will show on the results page? Google uses a combination of 3 primary factors to determine when an ad shows on the results page. Bid. The bid is the price you are willing to pay for a click on your ad. You bid against other websites on keywords that you believe people search for if they are interested in your product. A flower store might bid on the terms number 1 F2 roses, number 1 F3, number 1 F2 cheap bouquet, number 1 F3 or number 1 F2 wedding flowers, number 1 F3. Quality and relevance of the ad. Your ad needs to be relevant to the search being made in order to show on the search results page. If someone searches number 1 F2 wedding flowers, number 1 F3, it wouldn't number 1 EFT make sense for Google to show an ad for a nail salon. You want to make sure you have a lot of the same keywords that you are bidding on in the ad itself, so Google can tell your ad is relevant to the search. Landing page experience. When someone clicks on your ad, the landing page that they are sent to should have similar content as the ad itself and the keywords used in the search. If you own a salon and are advertising manicures, you number 1 EFLL want to link directly to a page that has more information on manicures, instead of to the homepage which includes all of your services. Differences between mobile and desktop advertising. Mobile and desktop ads on Google are very similar. They both display ads at the top and bottom of the search results page, and you bid on keywords the same way with both. Though some business owners overlook mobile, it is something you definitely want to think about when advertising on Google. More than half of Google number 1 EFS searches are done from mobile devices, and people searching on their phone often have local intent. The key differences between desktop and mobile advertising are: 1. There is less space on a mobile device, so you need to make sure your message is straight to the point. 2. People on their phones are on the go, so you want to tailor your message depending on if it number 1 EFS for desktop or mobile. When setting up your account, you can decide whether you want your ad to show on desktop, mobile, or both. We suggest setting up separate campaigns for desktop and mobile in order to track how your ads perform across different devices. You will notice that the cost for the same keyword will be different depending on if you are bidding for search terms being used on mobile or desktop. Experiment with different bids in order to see which keywords perform best on mobile versus desktop. Your goal is to have the highest click-through rate on your ad with the lowest cost per click possible. How much does advertising on Google cost? In pay-per-click advertising, you only pay if someone clicks on your ad. The cost per click of an ad depends on how much you bid on certain keywords. The cost ranges greatly depending on if you are in a market where a lot of other businesses are willing to pay a high price to rank on a certain keyword. For example, if you are a realtor in a small town, you might be able to bid less than $1 per click on a keyword and still have your ad show in this section. However, if you own a medical malpractice law firm in a big city, the cost per click will be much more expensive. You can use Google number 1 EFS keyword planner to see how much the suggested bids are for your ad to show up when someone searches for specific key terms. However, instead of focusing on the cost of advertising, you will want to think about how much you stand to earn from advertising on Google, and whether the substantial profit for your business. How can you save 33.5% on the AdWords cost per click? The simple answer is to advertise on Bing. In many ways, Bing provides a very similar service to Google AdWords. The only big disadvantage of Bing is that there are fewer clicks available for purchase. As a result, many advertisers focus on Google AdWords and ignore Bing. The lower competition means less fierce bidding, which in turn lowers the cost per click. According to an article by WordStream, Bing is typically 33.5% cheaper than AdWords for the same term. If you have not tried Bing, get started with a free $50 advertising credit. How to create an effective Google ad. Use your keywords in your ad. You need to use the same keywords that you are bidding on or in your ad so that Google will be able to tell that the ad is relevant to the search. Use local identifiers. If you are a local business, you want to consider using location terms in your search. If someone is searching for number 1 F2 BBQ Dallas number 1 F3, then your ad with the headline number 1 F2 Best Barbecue in Dallas number 1 F3 will be more likely to show in the results and be highly relevant for the person looking for a restaurant in your area. Clearly state who you are and what you offer. The user should know immediately what your business is and how you can help with what they number 1 EF looking for. If you own a store that offers many different products, make sure you are matching your ad to the keywords being searched. Tell the user what makes your business unique. There are tons of results on the first page of a Google search. You need to tell them why they should choose your business. Are you more affordable, dependable, or reliable? Do you have awesome reviews and ratings? Share that information in your ad. Have a clear call to action. Users are more likely to click on an ad if they are being instructed on next steps. Examples of this are number 1 F2 call today for a free quote, number 1 F3 or number 1 F2 enter zip to find store closest to you number 1 F3. Include a promotion. You may want to include an offer such as number 1 F2 20% off shoes today, number 1 F3 or number 1 F2 free shipping, number 1 F3 it number 1 EFS. Understandable if you don't number 1 EFT want to offer a discount on top of the advertising cost, but even a small offer can be the difference between attracting a new customer to your site and having them click on the website next to yours. Enhance your ad with extensions. Extensions show additional information about your business, such as your phone numbers, store rating or address, as links extending from your ad. Including extensions will increase the amount of space you take up on the results page, and they tend to have a high click-through rates, both huge benefits. Plus, there is no additional cost for including extensions. A simple step you can take before writing your ads is to search for your type of business and see what type of ads come up. You don't number 1 EFT want to copy other businesses' ads exactly, but you can get an idea of what works and what is out there. Sample of a good ad on Google. This ad hits all of the things on our checklist. It is packed with keywords, offers $40 off, boasts being open 24/7, has a clear message to call, notes that they are located in NYC, and has ad extensions that are tempting to click on. Next, take a look at this ad. This ad is a little weaker because although it is clear that they are offering plumbing services in NYC, there are not many keywords, and nothing in the ad makes them stand out against the other ads listed. Google gives you a certain amount of characters to use, and in most cases, you want to take advantage of all possible characters. The bigger your ad, the more it will stand out and the more keywords you can use within your ad. Benefits of using Google Ads for your business. These are the main reasons you should be using Google AdWords. 1. Google AdWords increases leads and customers. Google Analytics is one of the best tools for lead generation. If your campaigns are set up properly, it has the potential to send extremely targeted leads to your website, e-commerce website, opt-in form or other online property. Google AdWords allows you to focus on people who are searching for what you have to offer. 2. It's a flexible marketing platform. Anyone who uses Google AdWords regularly will immediately tell you that it number 1 EFS an extremely flexible marketing platform. It number 1 EFS suitable for all kinds and sizes of organizations. You can literally turn internet traffic on and off using this system. This platform is also compatible with a wide range of other marketing platforms and software systems. 3. Businesses get a high return on investment. Unlike other marketing strategies, you only pay for ads people click on. Once you optimize Google AdWords campaigns, you can get a high return on investment which may not be possible to achieve with other marketing strategies. However, this takes time and you have to find out what approach suits you and your business. 4. You see fast, transparent results. This platform shows you easy to understand results and reports of your campaigns extremely quickly after it goes live. It number 1 EFS easy to analyze the progress of your AdWords campaigns because its dashboard gives you all the information related to each campaign such as the ads clicked, keywords entered by website visitors, cost of clicks and much more. 5. It taps into huge, high-quality traffic sources. Google is one of the biggest companies in the world. Millions of people search and click Google Ads every day. This means it can send a business a huge amount of traffic every day, if they have the budget to pay for this traffic. Google prides itself on displaying relevant content and ads when people search through its search engine or view content that features Google Ads. Conclusion: using Google AdWords is a great learning experience. Because of the easy-to-use tracking features, you can even learn from your Google AdWords mistakes by seeing which targeted keywords result in conversions and which do not. Chapter 2. Creating Google Ads, Step by Step. Did you know that every day Google processes over 40,000 search queries every second? This equals to over 3.5 billion searches per day and 1.2 trillion searches per year worldwide. What if this Google AdWords tutorial could help you attract a small part of the billions of searches done every day to your store? Imagine all the millions of people that could be interested in what you have to sell from all around the world, ready to buy from you. It turns out that it number 1 EFS not that hard to get all these millions of people to your store. You only need to follow the right steps. In this Google AdWords tutorial, you will find all the steps you need to take to create your first Google AdWords campaign so you can start getting visitors and increase your sales. Step number 1. Set up your account. Before we get started setting up a campaign, you need to have an AdWords account. If you have already opened an account, you can skip this step and go straight to the step number 2 of this Google AdWords tutorial. In case you haven't number 1 EFT, the first thing you need to do is to go to the AdWords Get Started page and click that number 1 F2 Start Now number 1 F3 button. Once you do that, you will be taken to a page where you will have to add your email address and website. You can also let Google send you personalized tips and recommendations to help you improve your performance. Then, you will be taken to the most important page of the account setup process. Since you don't number 1 EFT have your keyword list or your max CPC, something you will learn in the next few steps. At first it may seem like you are stretching yourself too thin. This page is separated into 4 parts. The first one lets you define your daily budget. It number 1 EFS. You set up a minimum of $5 per day. Just Think that if your average cost per click is going to be 88 cents, which is the industry number 1 EFS benchmark, you will get less than 5 clicks per day, or approximately 150 monthly visits. That number 1 EFS too little to make any impact on your store. Now you need to choose your target audience. First, you need to choose the country or countries you will be targeting. It number 1 EFS the best practice to segment each campaign by country. Then, under number 1 F2 networks number 1 F3 to untick that number 1 F2 display number 1 F3 option. You only want to focus on search ads. Finally, add 15 to 20 keywords related to your industry. Leave the default setting for that number 1 F2, set your bid number 1 F3 tab. Manual bidding is too advanced for your skill level, and to be honest, you don't number 1 EFT want to play with this just yet. Finally, you will have to create a dummy ad for your campaign. Again, add some dummy text like the one I used in the image below and keep moving. Once you are ready, click the number 1 F2. Save and continue number 1 F3 button. Last but not least, you need to add your payment information. Step number 2. Do keyword research. Keyword research is an essential step to any successful Google AdWords campaign. This step is so important that Google created a tool specifically for this, Google Keyword Planner. If you are signed up, you will be taken to this page. Before we move on, we need to stop and do an important exercise. Brainstorming. If you have ever read anything about marketing, you probably know what a brainstorming session is all about. If you don't number 1 EFT know, it number 1 EFS simple, you sit down for 15 minutes with nothing than a pen and paper, and you try to come up with as many keywords as possible related to your e-commerce store. Say we have a store that sells sneakers. If you had to think keywords related to that niche, you would come up with the follow keywords. 1. Sneakers. 2. Urban shoes. 3. Casual shoes. 4. Men number 1 EFS sneakers. 5. Women sneakers. 6. Cheap sneakers. 7. Luxury sneakers. 8. Athletic shoes. 9. Comfortable shoes. 10. Leather sneakers. 11. Street shoes. 12. Slip on. 13. Suede sneakers. 14. Canvas sneakers. 15. Skate shoes. Once you are finished with your brainstorming session, what you will have to do then is go to the Google Keyword Planner and click the tab as it shows in the previous image. Then, you will have to add your keywords. Then, leave everything as it is, and click that number 1 F2 Get Ideas number 1 F3 button. The ad groups can help you find patterns and ideas of what are the groups of keywords that most people search for, and which have the most searches. In our example, it seems to be that people are interested in running shoes, men number 1 EFS casual shoes, women comfort shoes, comfortable shoes, and women number 1 EFS shoes. Now, what you will do is click that number 1 F2 Keyword Ideas number 1 F3 tab, then click that number 1 F2 Add All number 1 F3 button, and finally, click that number 1 F2 Download number 1 F3 button. Choose whether you want to download the list in CSV or if you want to use the AdWords editor. Choose the former. Once you open Microsoft Excel, you will analyze what keywords have the most searches, and which ones have the best suggested bids. The number of searches helps you see the demand for a particular keyword. The suggested bid shows you how much other companies are willing to spend per click. If the CPC is high, it means it number 1 EFS profitable, which is a good signal even if you can't number 1 EFT pay for it just yet. You want to pick the keywords that have a good mix of high to medium demand and high to medium CPC. Too much demand probably means it number 1 EFS not transactional, which will make your marketing much less effective because few people will be ready to buy from you for that particular keyword. On the other hand, a high CPC can make your campaign unprofitable. There, number 1 EFS no, number 1 F2 right, number 1 F3. Demand or CPC, as it depends on your niche. Just remember the industry benchmark is 88 cents, so if your keywords are over this value, it may mean you are going after highly competitive keywords. You want at least 15 keywords, but no more than 50. If you choose just a few keywords, it can make your campaign too narrow, and too many can make it too complex.